That's fine.
Speaking of, do we want to do a content warning before we get into the backstory?
Yeah, heads up, guys. He's there's some animal cruelty. I am probably going to skim that and just drive over it as fast as I can because that was giving me panic attacks. So like it's not a lot of like information, but it's enough to feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
So
There's also body mutilation and cannibalism.
he doesn't eat them though.
Doesn't he?
He just sucks their fingers because he's weird.
That's fair. Okay. There's
He likes
mutilation.
he likes to taste them.
That's right. Because the one tastes a little bit like machinery.
Yes, I did do hook notes already on the clown to get through that. Thank you, Titan. um so yeah, hey everybody and welcome to our Dead Talk. Today we're going over the clown whose real name is Kenneth Chase. This is taking place in 1932. So the clown was born and his mom died, and his dad was super pissed about that and was kind of an asshole about that. So he just kept going to school and living his life without very much supervision. But he found a feather once and he stuck it in his mouth, and he really liked the texture of the feather. So he was like, I want a fresh one. And for some unknown reason, there is a dentist in his
A
town
fresh one.
who did not pay any attention to this kid who stole anesthetic from his establishment. Like, he just said he got it from him. Like, I don't know if he fucking was like, yeah, here, kid, have some anesthetic. Ha, ha,
I'd like
ha.
to
Or,
imagine it was like that. Of him just being like, I want to be a dentist someday too. Can I practice? And just like, yeah, sure, because I don't know, he nothing better to do.
yeah. So, anyway, he got anesthetic and he used it to catch a bird and he killed the bird. And then he put the feather in his mouth. But he also took the feather home and put it in a cigar box. He dumped out all the other feathers he collected out of the cigar box because those were fake feathers now. Uh, the ones coming from live things were the real ones. Um, so anyway, he eventually got bored of birds and decided to move up the food chain uh, to small mammals and all that stuff. And he would always take one piece of them with him to put in his cigar box. And he was also going back to the dentist to get more anesthesia, which again, I'm like, how the fuck did this kid get all this goddamn anesthesia without anybody noticing? Or is this dentist like having a great time just watching this kid just go out and do horrible things? But anyway, he hid his cigar box because he was like, I can't let anybody find this. So anyway, he starts growing up. He gets like super tall and really muscled, and he like becomes really good looking and has like a lot of charisma and starts working at a diner. And right around this time, he decides, you know what, I can go one more step up the food chain. So he went for people. And he started taking fingers from people, and of course he put them in his mouth as one does, because he liked the taste of the fingers. He didn't eat them, he just liked to suck on them, and he didn't have any use for the rest of the person. Like, he was very clear, like, well, this is useless, there's 9 fingers, but this finger is the best one.
Yeah, he would
And
lick,
just
wouldn't
like,
he lick them all to pick the best one?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he would get rid of the body and take his precious fingers back home and stick them in the cigar box. So eventually his dad actually was like doing dad shit and was cleaning out a part of their house, and he found the cigar box Now, Kenneth happened to be walking home at just this time, and his dad opened up the box, and Kenneth saw him open up the box, turned right around, and went and joined the circus. Uh, and they were like, the circus took him in. They were really nice people. They were like, "Holy fuck, this guy is just like a walking wall of muscle." So they put him on the ropes. I don't know what that means. I assume that somebody who's at the circus would know what that means. Might be like trapeze or something.
It's setting up everything.
Okay.
You have to pull the ropes to actually like pull the entire fucking tent up. You have to be strong as hell.
Oh. So eventually, um, he got a new name, and that was Jeffrey Hawk. So anyway, he actually like the circus was super nice to him. He actually learned how to socialize. They were treating him like family. Like it was like, holy shit, is he gonna turn his life around? No, fuck no. He went and got drunk and he did a lot of drugs and he ate a lot of junk food and he got all swollen up and just I just imagine there's just a stink cloud of booze around him. And then he
Like
decided to get
Pigpen.
yeah. So then he decided to get right back on his bullshit and got more anesthesia from somebody else because it was not near where he went because the circus was a traveling circus. So he was traveling the countryside. So he went and got anesthesia from somebody else and he was also using muscle relaxer. So it's like where the fuck are you getting all this shit? Anyway, he went back to his still taking fingers and all that good stuff, but he got sloppy once and a girl got out and she went back to the circus was like this fucker and they were like, "You know what? He has been stealing our clothes a lot and being a real asshole." So they went and chased him off and so Kenneth went and he took his horse and he got the caravan and he yeehawed on out of there, which the horse is named Maurice. So if you see that horse, that's Maurice. He is part of the story. Um, so he starts going around and he would either set up his own caravan or he would go to other people's circuses and carnivals and pretend like he worked there. And I mean, you see the way he looks here on my screen. If you walked into a carnival or a circus and you saw that coming up to you, would you not be like, what? I better not be alone with this person. Like, I don't know how the fuck anybody fell for that. But he was absolutely
It
going out
was
and
it was the charisma.
I cannot imagine enough charisma to tune out the face.
I mean, there's
I'm
Ted Bundy.
sorry.
Ted Bundy has a weird little creepy rat face and he still managed it.
Uh, and the booze smell.
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyway, he was not particular about who he killed, like, he would literally take anybody, anybody at all. Um, so anyway, he just went, like, place to place to place doing this, and eventually there was a fog, and the entity did everybody a fucking favor, and that's my load-bearing plot horse. Um, yeah, the entity did everybody a favor. Like, I assume the entity is just like trying to like balance out its karma here because the entity took the clown and took Maurice too. And the clown made it through the fog just fine. Maurice did not come out looking good. Obviously, like is like bleeding and looks like it's melting. But the entity was like, "Fuck, I like this horse," and gave Maurice a third eye which I actually went to the map and sat and looked at Maurice's face. He does indeed have a creepy little third
Yes,
eye.
he does.
So yeah, that was the entity's doing. The entity likes Maurice and gifted Maurice an eye. Uh but anyway, he ended up at Crotus Pren and set out outside, which again I think is like the entity balancing out its karmic slate because it's just pissing off the nurse. Because he is like all the things that she hates. And he is right outside her window. So I fucking loved that. Um, But I also saw a mention from it's potentially Benedict Baker. Anyway, in the fog, they actually saw him uh meandering around, and the clown actually looked at him like, maybe I'll go after him, but then he decided not to
Mhm.
because he prefers that the victims are less aware. So he left and got away from him because the clown was like, "Nah, that guy's too sober for me." So he's very specific with when he goes after people. Like he has to hit them with this thing before he goes for them.
Yeah.
So
He picks people who are unsuspecting
yes,
really well.
and and people that are not smart enough to walk away from that phase.
Yeah. Um, I would like to add, so I know you mentioned the anesthetic a few times, but if you ever look through his add-ons, he has, I pulled it up just to make sure I had it all, solvent, kerosene, sulfuric acid, hartshorn, bleach, chloroform, 15% volume ether, and gin. The dude could literally, I mean, honestly, just the bleach and the solvent, he could mustard gas anybody in that caravan in a matter of seconds.
I also want to like point out that he was literally killing like everything, like from the smallest burb up to the humans,
Mm-hmm.
but he did not touch Maurice.
I
Like
know.
what kind of a badass was that horse? The clown looked at him and was like, "Oh no, I can't do that."
Or was it more out of a necessity? Because Maurice got him around.
He did, but he's put down his little caravan in the fog, and Maurice is still there, and Maurice is still alive.
That's fair.
And I mean, granted, the entity obviously likes Maurice, so maybe he's like, I can't fucking kill Maurice because the
Or the
entity's gonna
entity will
kill me.
destroy me.
Yeah.
Red Panda says Maurice always jump scares them when he neighs.
So yeah, that's I thought that was cool. Maurice is such a fucking badass. Like that was the only redeeming part of that whole thing was that Maurice was a badass.
I love Maurice. I love going and giving Maurice pets.
Hmm. That's a good horse.
Best horse.
That and he had to drag like the absolute load that he was carrying. Because if you look at like his setup, like one horse
Yeah.
was dragging all that shit.
Yeah. That's a minimum 2 horse job, if not 3 to 4.
Yeah, so Maurice was just like built. I'm just imagining
He's
any
built
other horse.
different.
Yeah, any other horse that tried to go through the fog was just like that they wouldn't have made it. But Maurice was just like too fucking angry to die. So I really should just change this picture to the story of Maurice. Just put the horse up there.
Episode 11, Maurice. We just talk about what a good boy Maurice is. We just spend
Oh,
one singular night where we keep burning Crotus Pren offerings. And if we don't get the chapel, we DC.
the only people that die in that horror movie are the people that die because he's just so damn cute. He's such a good boy, my heart.
All right. So
So let's get to the movie, shall we?
let's do it. So this is gonna obviously be sent at Father Campbell's chapel, which is where the map is that the caravan has set up shop
Yes.
with its newly renovated carnival games and little picture opportunities where you stick your face through a hole,
Mm-hmm.
which is very cute. I actually love the new Crotus Pren maps. I think they look great. So first dead. I don't know who you thought it would be, but I'm pretty solid that it's the party boys all together. Ace, Ash, Jeff, and David.
had Kate down.
You had Kate?
Because, I mean, look at the clown and
Hmm.
look at Kate. Kate went out to this fucking area, out to a fucking asylum that had just she was by herself with a bonfire and a guitar,
Hmm.
and this motherfucker snuck up on her. And then like even the picture of the advertisement, he's already got her. Like she could not outrun him.
Do we want to put Kate first and then the boys? Because my logic with them is out of all of the survivors, who's the easiest for him to convince to come back to his caravan for drinks? It's all four of them. And I think he could take them out in the order of Ace, Jeff, Ash, David.
I actually had Jeff as making it
Really?
because he boozes up quite a lot. And if there's anybody that's going to be like familiar with anesthetic, it's going to be probably Jeff
Yes. What? What?
cuz he's like he takes care of people after he gives them all the tattoos and shit.
You don't go into anesthesia when you get tattoos.
I've never done it before. I didn't know.
No, you just take the pain.
Wow.
They just stab you for 3 hours. And then they tell you to lotion it daily. And it burns every time you put lotion on it.
I still had Jeff though for at the very least dude
See,
can take his liquor.
he can, but I mean, the clown is also bringing kerosene, chloroform, bleach. Like, Jeff can get drunk, but you put some chloroform under his nose, he's still a person. it's, he's not gonna last.
Had faith in him.
Note to self, don't get a tattoo. It depends on where you get it, how big, what style. Line art's the worst. For me, line art felt like somebody was like literally dragging a razor across my back. The shading just felt like it reminded me of my grandma used to like scratch my back with her nails when I was really small. So the shading wasn't bad, but the line art was brutal.
I also had Quentin as a last survivor.
I'm willing to put Quentin.
If
Um
if anybody is going to stay awake through chloroform, it's gonna be Quentin.
I was thinking Fung. Again, our two no sleeps. But if you're willing to cut losses with Jeff, I would like it to be Kate just gets fucking snuck on in the woods, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, the boys happen across the caravan at some point, and the clown's like, "Come on in for a drink," and they're just like, "Hell yeah, drinks!" And nobody ever sees them again.
Okay, so I was thinking what would happen if Ash was under all this influence?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there actually was like a scene in the movie where he was like high or something and was hallucinating and he sawed his own arm off.
Yes.
So I was like, if that happened again and he happened to have a chainsaw arm, what's the likelihood that he's going to blow through the other survivor? Because he's seeing shit. I was like, fuck that. The clown's not gonna do the damage. It's gonna be Ash.
No, I love that. I love that though. I love that. Okay, so
Uh,
Kate just fucking snatched in the woods.
yep.
All right. So I put Ace, Jeff, and David. Uh, whoop.
Ash got high.
Hello? I can type. Okay. And
So
then the clown's
I
probably Ash's a risk. I think the clown could take him.
I was gonna say he likes to fine tune his mixture to each person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if he gave him that mixture and he just went out and started mowing people down with the chainsaw, he might close the door and come get him later because he obviously needs to fine tune that shit.
Okay, okay. We'll save Ash.
And I feel like Ash has a little bit more chaos
Yeah,
left
I would
in
say, do we
him.
want to come back later and like Ash had just like somebody stumbles upon Claudette's mauled body. She was out collecting flowers in the woods, and Ash is just like, ah!
Yeah, I'm just imagining just like seeing just the absolute horrors out in the woods. Like the clown's kill count is low because Ash did the work.
No, that's kind of funny though.
Oh god.
All right, let's take a look at our list of. I think Lori, honestly. Okay, so I also thought about this as if the clown were to approach anybody and convince them, like, if
To
he,
come in.
yeah, if he was just like, I've got drinks, or like, yeah, he looks a little dirty, he probably smells a little weird. But who would probably be like, yeah, okay, I'll take some drinks. You're gonna fight me on this. I put Nia on that list.
I actually thought Nia was gonna get killed by Ash. Like I could see Jake and Nia like both out minding their business. One's tagging, one's just out, living off the grid, and just like Ash just comes out of left field and
See,
just obliterates them both.
I was thinking Nia because I think Nia would just be like, yeah, I don't judge. I'll take a drink.
Eh.
And also the thought of like uh the tip of her finger having like little traces of spray paint on it and him being like, this
Oh
one tastes
god.
unique.
He's just he's just looking at her like a cat looking out a window at a bird. Just
Right.
like making a little chirp sound.
So that's why I had her on that list. I had Nancy and Steve also on that list.
I was thinking the same
Of
thing.
them being like, oh yeah, our parents would never buy us beer.
I can see Steve like daring her to go over.
Oh
Like,
my
what's he gonna
gosh.
do? He's never gonna catch us. Listen to the guy. And be like, let's do it. Let's do it. So for once, Steve's the one that actually gets somebody killed and says somebody getting Steve killed.
I also had Leon on that list.
Leon, why?
Only because I've seen clips from one of the games of him just totally wasted, and I was like, yeah, he can't hold his liquor.
But would he go in there?
Mm,
He doesn't strike me as a dumb boy.
that's fair.
Like, he might not be able to hold his liquor, but is he stupid enough to take liquor from a stranger? I'm like, I feel like all the law enforcement or previous law enforcement is like, no, this is a bad idea.
Okay, okay. So we can agree, Nancy and Steve being stupid teenagers in the woods.
Yes.
This clown's like, you kids want a drink? And Steve's like, dare you, Nancy, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Steve would never let her actually go by herself. So
Oh
like,
yeah, he's absolutely coming.
and then may I add Nia
Yes.
for
I'm just imagining like them coming in there and having a drink and just the entire just thing just rocking back and forth every time he catches somebody. It's like a Venus flytrap for stupid people.
oh gosh.
Doesn't judge. Should have judged.
Do we want to see if we can do one more round of the clown actually killing people and then go back to Ash mowing
Yeah.
mowing folks down?
So I think Lori, she might not want to go and get a drink with him, but she would be distracted by Maurice. She gives
Oh
me the feeling
yeah.
like she would be a horse fan.
She's 100% horse girl. Uh, I agree with
Probably
that.
how he caught Kate too.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also with Elodie for the a different reason of the horse has a fucking third eye, and
Yeah,
that
Elodie's
is
gonna.
interesting as hell. And
Yeah,
he's
she's
probably
like,
just
I'm
gonna
not.
fucking creep up on her.
Oh yeah, like she's walking by, like I'm not stupid enough to go in there. What the fuck is that? It's like,
Yeah. And she's just
fuck.
like enthralled by the horse, and he just like comes up and is just like, "Whoop!" And they
Just
never saw her again.
taking pictures, writing notes, and then boop, gone.
Yeah. All right. So Lori. All right. Have you ever heard that sound on TikTok? That's like, what the fuck is that fucking thing? What the fuck?
No,
I'm gonna check its vibe. Bad vibes.
no.
I'll have to send you a video at some point.
Okay, okay. So we
So
gonna go check up on
let's
Ash?
check up on Ash. Ash is mowing down every person in sight. We both agreed Jake's definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to just go ahead and take him out or save him for later when we
Oh well, eventually Ash has to come down, so we'll just have him go and knock people out.
I think we can take care of Jake and let's have him get somebody who would actually be difficult for the clown.
Hmm.
So, like you said, all of the law enforcement,
Yeah.
David, Jill, Leon, well, sorry, Tap, Jill, Leon, Yui.
We should do a ode to my husband because he always says "parked out by the Jake," which is making fun of that song "Parked Out by the Lake." This is
Yes.
somebody who was out like fishing and heard the sound of high Ash screaming with a chainsaw
Who here
and Jake
looks like
getting
they
mowed
would
down.
fit? Jake's the only one who looks like they would fish.
I could see Tap fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have that much to do. He got kicked off the force anyway,
Yeah, that's fair. He's
and
just
enjoying his retirement.
spending his retirement just fishing, and then here comes a crazy man with a chainsaw hand.
Get the boat! Get the boat! Get the boat!
Do we want him and Jake to just be together? They're just
Sure,
buds who like to go fishing on the weekend.
that'd be great.
All right. I hope I remember what that means when I come back to it. Um,
We need to pick off two more people. I could see like David taking Dwight camping, and Dwight's just like, "No, I don't want to go camping." David's
oh,
like, "Let's
I
go
had
camping."
David dying up here with the boys.
Oh yeah, David's dead. Damn. Okay,
Um, we have Bill.
we do have Bill.
Bill is taking his Bill and his granddaughter Meg.
Now the question is, can Meg outrun
Ash with a
Ash with a
chainsaw.
chainsaw?
Yes. And she runs to the caravan. And she's like, "There's a man out there with a chainsaw." And the clown's like, "Get in here, it's safe."
Oh god. That might be when he gets Ash, because if Ash is high and he thinks that Meg is like a demon, you just see him like wheezing, trying to get through the woods. The chainsaw's like out of gas and dying, and he's just like, trying to get in.
Do we want that to happen now? Or do
Let's
we
do it.
Okay. So Bill and Meg are just like out for a jog. She's like, "Grandpa, you gotta get back in shape. Well, the zombies come back."
He's still jogging with a cigarette in his mouth.
Yes. Uh so Meg outruns Ash and
Yes.
goes to the caravan where the clown kills her.
Yes. I'm honestly just imagining her running like the little girl in Jurassic Park.
Yes. Ash follows after her and is all tuckered out by the time he gets there, and the clown's just like, "All right, your turn."
Yeah, he's finally coming down because like all of the running has like gotten it out of his system a little bit.
Yes.
So, it's round 2. He's up the dosage.
And it's good enough to kill him this time.
I think so.
Okay. I
Ash is
just
tired.
I
Ash
feel
is
like the
tired, he's out of
clown
gas.
I feel like the clown would actually keep one of his metal fingers
Oh my
because
god.
it would be the most interesting.
I'm just imagining he's got this chainsaw on his hand right now, but he put like his hand in his back pocket, so when he finally knocks him out,
Yeah.
he just sees the metal hand in his pocket and
Majestic.
just like
Oh man. He
I
could suck on
hate
that for hours, it'll never rot.
I know. It's the everlasting gobstopper of fingers.
No. Oh, disgusting. The clown was the first lore I've ever read in this game, and all I remember is like gagging when I read it for the first time. When it was like he licks all of their fingers to choose the best, I was like,
Do you know what his favorite dessert is?
lady fingers
Yeah.
or tiramisu. Is it tiramisu?
Yes, because it's got rum and it's got ladyfingers.
Okay. So we have left Dwight, Claudette, Fung, Quentin, Adam, Jane, Yui, Zarina, Cheryl, Felix, Yunjin, Jill, Leon.
Yes.
We've gotten through quite fast.
I mean, we had 2 killers going for a little bit, so
That's fair. That's fair. It does help, doesn't it?
so I feel like at this point law enforcement's getting called in because they've had reports of a man with a chainsaw arm running through the campground.
Yeah.
So it's time for the weeboo wagon to come on in.
I like to imagine like Jane and Zarina were out there just camping. They're just like girls' weekend. We're gonna camp. And there was like a chainsaw in the distance. They're the ones who called the cops.
I could see Dwight seeing Ash like running and he just like peels off and takes off running, gets lost in the woods and bites it.
Oh, who's gonna be our embarrassing bathroom death?
Ooh,
That's gotta happen eventually.
it does.
Somebody could accidentally drink one of the tonics. All right, so somebody calls the cops. Jill and Leon show up on the job. They're the only
Yeah,
two
I think
cops, right? Yeah.
they would start by the lake and just be like, "Oh my god."
Ugh, just bits and pieces all around. So then
Yeah.
they'll probably ask some of the other campers who they saw. Uh, do we want to just assume everyone is there camping?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll get them all there.
Sweet. So, do you want to go ahead and say Dwight wandered off already to die, or do you want to save that?
You know, if he was there and there was a man with a chainsaw hand and he went for somebody, Dwight's gonna leave.
That's true. So Dwight just like wandered off, got lost in the woods, and they never saw him again, and nobody
Either that or
cared to ask.
I feel like the clown would like lick his fingers and be like,
Yeah, I feel like
nah.
there's nothing about his fingers that seemed like they would taste good. Now, Jane.
It's like, I don't like vanilla. Just leaves them there.
All right. All right.
That's just the new Billy.
Yes. So the cops are asking people around like, what did you see? And some of them are just like, there was a guy with a chainsaw running around and he went that way.
Yeah. And I feel like they'd also be asking, does anybody have anybody missing? At which point Yunjin would be like, Kate's not here anymore.
Right, because she managed
And
her.
and
Felix.
Felix would be like, uh-oh, Elodie's gone.
And then if we
Um,
have our teenage group, Quentin and Fun could be like, Lori, Nancy, and Steve are gone.
yeah.
It took them this long to realize.
Something's amiss here.
And they're as soon as the cops are like, is anybody missing? Everyone's like, actually?
You know what? They did say they were gonna go out for a second. Makes sense why they're not back now.
We thought that they were just having a really good time out there.
Yeah. Can I just take a minute that if they all showed up in a group, like to this caravan, he's 100% gonna want Yunjin's fingers.
Oh, yeah. And
Because they are
Jane's.
fucking majestic.
Yui's. Have you seen Yui's manicure?
Yes.
Her her phalanges do not stand a chance.
I could see him wanting to get his mouth on Quentin's fingers because he's got them big ass hands.
Yes. A nice juicy appendage.
Like, seriously, if they were candy bars, that is like king size candy bars. The fingers are massive. Okay.
His phalanges are packed like a Snickers.
So they might go out as a search party now to go and pick up their buddies, try and find them.
Okay. Uh
So
so search parties do tend to split off into groups to cover more ground.
so we'd probably have Team Jill and Team Leon because they're not going to leave a group without a gun against a chainsaw.
Okay. So how do we want to split this?
Yunjin's probably going to go with Leon. She doesn't want another strong female to challenge her, and Leon's pretty hot.
That's fair. I guess that would mean Yui would go with Jill because our
Yeah,
headcanon is they are enemies. But I propose in a future episode, enemies to lovers.
could see that.
Okay. But we'll
Could
come
just
back
be
we'll
like
come back to it when we get to like
there's
Demogorgon.
just like a windy day, and Yui just rides up on her motorcycle, wind blowing in her hair, and she just pulls up her goggles and like, you
You
want
need
to
a ride.
ride?
It was at
Credits.
that moment Yunjin realized she was in fact a lesbian. That's
Hmm?
why she's into Leon. He's kind of feminine in a way.
And she could be bi.
That's true. She could be bi energy. There it is.
Hmm. I mean, so long as she can be on top, we're good.
Facts. Facts. All right. So Yunjin with Leon, Yui with Jill. Uh,
I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog is snoring behind me.
I can't. I wish I could. That sounds precious. Oh, Claudette's still here.
Yeah,
Um, uh, let's see.
I think Claudette would feel more comfortable with Jill.
I'm good with that.
Feng and Quentin are gonna go together.
So, Jill's group includes Claudette and Yui, and Leon's group includes Yunjin.
Mm-hmm.
You said Feng and Quentin?
Yeah, they'll probably go together.
Let's check on with Leon.
He looks about their age.
um,
So we got Adam.
Cheryl would probably want to stick with Feng and Quentin because they're all
Yeah,
friends in our world that we've created.
yes.
So Jane, to even it out, Jane, Zarina, Adam, and Felix with Jill.
You said Jane Zarina.
Jane and Zarina with Jill, and then Adam and Felix, we can split them,
I
and
could,
that would
I
be
could,
even groups.
let's say I could see like Yunjin just walking up to Felix and go, "You're with me." Just walking him away.
I would just be like, in case he dies.
She's just sitting there like preening this, like, okay, I want this hot male and this hot male watching me. What about that guy? I don't see him. I don't see ugly people.
Like, you mean that child? Okay, so let me make sure I've got everybody here on the list.
Bye, have a great time.
1 second. We have Claudette with Jill, Fung with Leon, Quentin with Leon, Adam with Jill, Jane with Jill, Yui with Jill, Serena with Jill, Cheryl with Leon, Felix with Leon, Yunjin with Leon.
Yep.
Cool. Everyone else is dead.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Thank you for the lurk wobble.
All right.
So they split
So,
off for the search
yeah.
party for the man
Oh
with
my god.
they're all of their friends, and in the half chance that they encounter the man with the chainsaw.
Yeah. Thanks for lurking, Wobble. Okay.
So if we want to save Fang and Quentin as possible final survivors, I think Jill's group
They
should
need
be
to
the
get there
one
first.
to come across his little caravan and be like, "Excuse me, sir. Have you seen a man with a chainsaw?" And he says,
No.
and they keep going.
He does like to carry his little key ring of fingers, so there's a possibility that since it's so heavy, like that finger's just like sticking out of his pocket. And they're like, wait a second.
the metal finger.
Yeah.
Would anybody recognize it as Ash's though? Because like he had a chainsaw.
Would any of the people have seen him before he put on the chainsaw arm? / has he been arrested before?
Technically,
Because I could see Jill and Leon being like, we know that finger anywhere.
I would. Okay, so if we imagine like they were all at the campsite earlier, like everybody was there before like we got into the whole the boys wandered off to go party with the clown.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Ash hitting on Yunjin, but that's with Leon's group. I could see Ash hitting on every single girl in the party and
Yeah.
being like, hey, guess what this can do? Like,
Going from person to person. I could also
literally looking for anyone to say yes.
I could also see like if he was standing in the doorway, uh in his trailer you can see all the bottles that he's gotten there, and Claudette is our little chemist.
Yes.
She might be like, "Wait, that's a really bad combination of shit in there." And be like,
How
"Oh,
much?
Jill, I don't think he knows about. Let's move on." Nudge, nudge, nudge. Or if she doesn't feel comfortable talking to Jill because she's, an authority figure, she might like grab like Jane since she looks very friendly, or
Yeah.
Yui because Yui looks at you and you just start vomiting the truth.
I'm good with that.
Or she just panics and goes, "Oh my god,
Takes
that's a
off.
lot of drugs in there."
Claudette just like takes off running because she like immediately recognizes a bottle of ether and she's like, no.
Yeah.
Her danger sense, excellent. She gets the fuck out of Dodge, and then somebody can go run after her, which causes the group to split a little bit, which is dangerous.
Yeah, Jill's probably like, "Somebody stop her." Yui's like, "On it."
Yes, perfect.
Yui just tears ass after her.
So then we only have Jill, Jane, Zarina, and Adam with the clown.
Hmm.
Can he would probably invite them in for a drink. I don't think any of them would say yes because they'd be like, "We're looking for
Yeah,
our friends."
real shady.
Yeah, or like they just have
Jill
better
might be
things to
like,
do.
"Would you mind if I took a look around in here?" And then it might get to the point where she's starting to getting that cop sense going, because he's like, "Oh no, I can't let you come in here right now."
She tells the others to stay behind. She's like, "Let me take a look around in here," and he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then Adam starts to go in with her because like good old chivalrous Adam,
Oh yeah.
and she's like, "No," because she has a danger sense, but she's like, "I have a gun. I'm a cop. I can handle myself. This dude's out of shape. I can clearly fight him." But what she doesn't understand is like, yeah, he's got a belly, but he's like muscle underneath and giant.
Yeah.
He's like Nemesis, but just coughs a lot.
Okay. So Jill goes in there alone to go and look around the caravan.
It does its Venus flytrap thing.
I think she would at least try and fire off a couple of shots, like even like right before she gets knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't you have like a few seconds before a chloroform actually hits you?
Yes. It has to be held. Pretty much the only thing you're inhaling for a few seconds.
So she would have enough time to at least like try and unholster her gun and fight him. So it's gonna make the thing rock quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Jill's gonna just go straight for the crotch. Just if he reaches around and grabs her like that, just ball shot.
Uh, but I think he could beat her in a fight.
Oh yeah, he can definitely beat her in a fight. I'm just saying that I think there would be enough commotion that we might see somebody else try and go in.
I think
Maybe Adam.
I think both Adam and Zarina would.
Okay,
I think they would try.
so they're gonna go. So is that like by the time they get the door open, Jill's unconscious?
Yes.
We just come in and find him licking her fingers.
No, what a oh my god. What a horrible sight. And neither of them
So
can fight him either, to be honest.
I'm gonna say Adam might be like, "Get her out of here, I'll fight him." And Adam just like jumps on his back or something, and Serena's like trying to drag Jill out, but she's got like her bulletproof vest on, which are heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like trying to drag this body that's sagging. and heavy and then get it past the clown to the exit again.
And honestly, the clown could easily just grab a couple of bottles, some bleach, and some solvent and start gassing everybody
Mhm.
that's in there. And he's already used to the fumes. He could probably handle it a little bit better
Yeah.
to the point that, like, by the time they pass out, he's almost close to passing out, but he can just be like, ah, now I can open the door.
Yeah, he just opens the door and is like, and then Jane's like, fuck, and runs
Yes.
in the direction of Yui, because if anybody's gonna save your ass, it's Yui.
So Adam and Zarina. Okay. So Jane ran off to find Yui. Do we want to check in on the other search party?
Yeah. So they would probably stumble on, let's see, he's got to be dumping the body somewhere.
True.
They might just find just a pile of corpses, all missing fingers.
Yeah.
So they start like laying them out and identifying the bodies. Like, does anybody know this person?
I don't think they would lay them out. I think Leon would tell them do not touch anything.
True. Evidence.
Yeah.
Keep that shit off. Put a
Yeah.
marker down.
Yeah. Uh but um I think they would be able because all of their friends would be the freshest ones. They'd be at the top of the pile.
Yeah.
So I think they could very easily be like, that's Elodie, that's Nancy, that's Steve.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think
god, Lori.
Leon would probably rope it off with caution tape and try and put a marker and then go to his radio and try and radio for Jill. And then Jill's not answering.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And then Leon's, because he's marked it, he's like, I can find you guys again. And he'll be like, I gotta go get Jill. You guys stay here. The Leon leaves the civilians
Yes.
in the middle of the woods.
But there's only one person that's happy about that, and that's Yunjin, because she gets to watch him leave.
So
Leon
Leon,
clearly dies.
yeah, because the clowns left them to get gassed, and they're probably just gonna fucking die that way, honestly. Um, so the clown has left his caravan because he's following after Jane, runs into Leon.
Does Leon just draw the gun at that point? And it's just like, hands in the air, bitch.
No, I don't think hands in the air are drawing a gun. I think he would stop him. Like I'm gonna stop my fucking cat. Okay. I think he would stop him and be like, "Hey, you!" And the clown,
Just,
he's just like, "Fucking creepy ass motherfucker." He doesn't say
yeah.
that out loud, but he thinks it.
Well,
And
that and he could probably smell him because he was baking in gases.
mm-hmm. Swear to God.
If nothing else, he's about to stop a guy for a drug charge. He's just like, is that marijuana? Meth? Just like, just sniffing everything out and just like, ah, shit.
Cocaine, heroin, paint. um, I mean, he could easily just be like, "Hey, start off with the first question. Have you seen a man with a chainsaw?"
Yeah.
Start there. Clown's just like, "Nope, don't know what you're talking about." And then he's just like, "Have you seen a cop with some other people walking around?" The clown's just like, "Nope." And Leon's just like, You sus imposter.
Where are you heading to?
Yeah.
So would that be like him saying like, I was trying to get back to my caravan and I got lost, but I can see it over there. Would you like to come and see if they happen to show up at my caravan?"
Or same mistake Jill made of, do you mind if I take a look inside? And the
Yeah.
clown's like, go right ahead.
Little does he know that he stepped outside, left the door closed, he just walks into a cloud of gas.
Oh my god. Passes out like instantly. Narwhal, thank you so much for those
I know the
subs.
alert won't go off 'cause of podcast,
Just
but yeah.
absolutely just passes right out.
Oh man. The last thing he sees is Jill, Adam, and Serena's bodies just lying about.
With very moist fingers.
Oh. We have to be reminded every time somebody dies.
Mm-hmm.
uh. All right. So
Imagine he's got like, you know the little clips you put on chip bags? Like, I just imagine him finding the right finger, but he doesn't have time to extract it yet, so just putting the clip on top of the finger that he wants.
I love that idea. Um. Okay, so Felix, Cheryl, Quentin, Fung, and Eugen are hanging out around all of the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Everybody's probably crying except Eugen.
Or Felix. Felix is probably like holding back his emotion.
Yes, that's fair. A little stoic, a little wants to find out who did this to Elodie. How dare they?
There's just
His
one
best friend.
singular tear that rolls down his cheek, and then he just sucks the rest of the emotion back in.
Yunjin's just like, you look better when you don't cry, because she's actually saw that one tear. Um,
Really killed her lady boner.
Yui's caught up to Claudette. Jane's
Yeah.
still out there running, I'm sure, to this day. Um, it's been 84 years. Rumor has
Yeah.
it Jane's still running.
Yeah, I feel like Yui would just like tackle Claudette's ass. And then like Yui like Claudette's just laying on the ground and Yui's terrifying and she just like starts vomiting everything she knows.
Yes.
And then Yui's just sitting there like absorbing all this information and then
Yui,
lets her up and is like, "We need to get help."
yeah, Yui realizes, like, oh no, we left them back there with him.
Yeah.
And so if they take off to go
If they
find.
if they head back, they'll run into Jane and Jane will let them know like it's too late. And they're like, "Okay, here's what we're
Okay.
going to do. We're going to head back to the lake and see if we can find the other cop." And then they can join up with the group because the other cop is no longer with them.
Yeah. So then they find the group with the pile of bodies.
Yeah.
And that's when this gang of Jane, Yui, Claudette, Felix, Cheryl, Quentin, Fung, Yunjin start piecing it together. There is a killer clown out there
Mm-hmm.
who is luring people to his caravan and uh chopping off their fingers and dropping their bodies here.
Hmm.
And Yunjin is just like, of course he got Kate. It was the horse, wasn't it?
Kate's actually wearing her horse sweater at that moment.
I love her horse sweater. It's one of my favorites. But yes.
I feel like after like adding to the people that isn't crying, like Cheryl. Cheryl's like, I've seen a lot worse than this.
She's sad, but yeah.
Unlike the others, she's not mortified. She's just like, oh damn, it's happening again.
So Fung and Quentin are the only ones crying.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, Yui would obviously be like, "Where'd the cop go?" And they're like, "Oh, he went to go find the other cop." And Yui's like, "Well, the other cop's dead."
Yeah.
And they would probably be like, "We can assume that cop is dead."
Yeah.
The smart thing to do would be everyone leaves.
That would be the smart thing to do.
But it's a horror movie.
And they never do the
They
smart
never
thing.
do the smart thing.
Or they might try to leave, but none of them are really outdoorsy folks, so they might get
That's
lost
true.
and see lights in the distance because it's getting dark and shit, it's the caravan.
Oh my god, Yunjin thinks that she knows the way. She speaks it
does.
confidently enough to be like, "I know which way I'm going." Yui the entire time is harassing her, of being like, "It isn't the right way. There's no way you're going the right way." Yes, I like that. Then they find the caravan. At this point, it's been aired out.
Yeah, he's literally opened the door. He's been like cutting off fingers and chucking the bodies outside. So they just like walk up and they're like, well, there's the bodies.
They try to be quiet, but Claudette steps on a twig.
Yeah, I can see like Felix is like, all right, we need to get their guns. Because he took their fingers, but not their guns.
True.
So Felix is like trying to be all stealthy and shit. And then Claudette steps on something and squeaks.
And the clown just bursts the door open and comes out.
Just pelts Felix right in the face with a bottle.
Oh my god, yes. And then we
And at
have all of our scream queens like Jane, Claudette, Feng, Yunjin, just
and at that moment, the moonlight catches their fingernails just so.
he sees
And the
the beautiful manicures of Yui and Yunjin.
he's just standing there as Felix is passed out on the ground, just like
Just like, "Hello, ladies. Would you like a drink?"
Yunjin's just like, ew.
Oh god. Um Yui's like the only one left who could arguably actually fight him.
Yeah.
Um but he wants those fingers so bad.
He does.
I think his hunger for the finger would keep him going
Oh
even
yeah,
through a fight with Yui.
he's absolutely gonna go straight for Yui and Yunjin. He might ignore the others just to get to those fingers first.
Yeah. Which he could.
Especially like Yunjin probably uses like the best lotions available, so
Oh
it's probably
gosh.
like walking into a fucking bakery.
So Redhead's pinky in the add-on is described as tasting like potpourri.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be his favorite. So yes, lotion, I feel like he would love it. Just the perfume from lotion alone, he'd be like,
It's like Yunjin would smell like hers would smell like lotion and they would be very moist.
mm-hmm.
Whereas Yui's would probably be rough and smells like motor oil.
But with the nail polish on top.
Yeah.
What a unique combination of flavors.
He's like
Delectable, might
he's
I
just
say.
sitting he's just sitting there like, which one do I pick? Just steps on Felix's neck on the way out, like trying to make his decision.
Oh my god, and crushes Felix's head.
Mm-hmm. Like he can come back for those fingers later. He's got something much more important to do right now.
Oh, Just like the Mori. Love it. All right.
Yes,
Um,
he might risk it at that point and chuck another bottle and see if he can't at least slow them down. Like try and drug them all in one big go.
true.
Because, desperation for them fingers.
True. And that would make it so much easier to fight Yui.
Yes. Like, I think that even with it being, like, kind of spread out, Cheryl's probably going to go down because she's just so tiny.
Yeah. I feel like he needs to get Yui first, just because she's the hardest fight.
I mean, out of all of them, everybody's probably going to try and take a step back. Yui's not going to take a step back, so that's also going to make her the closest target.
That's fair. And he has a knife too. We haven't really talked about that.
Yeah.
He could very easily just like she's trying to fight, but she's also gassed and gagging, and he could just stab her right in the gut
Oof.
while sucking on her fingers.
But he's also using anesthetic on her, so she doesn't even feel it. Just turns her into a rage machine. She feels nothing. So I think Jane Claudette and Yunjin would definitely take steps back. Cheryl just passes out immediately. Like she just gets one breath and then just she's down. Quentin just like he inhales, but it's nothing compared to the shit he's already got in his body.
All right, so you said Cheryl passes out
Oh yeah.
immediately.
So if he stabbed Yui and she's out of the fight, whether she's dead or not, he's going to start advancing on Yunjin, who is 100% going to try and back away from him.
Oh yeah.
Jane and Claudette probably won't try and help her. Cheryl's unconscious. I think at this point, Quentin and Feng would be like, we need to do what Felix tried to do. Let's get the guns.
Deal. I'm good with that.
And that's how they end up taking the clown down.
I don't think either of them actually know how to use a gun.
Yeah, but if they fire enough shots, they'll probably hit him.
Yeah. I just think it's hilarious. Um, I mean, Yinjin also probably like same way as you. He just goes down fighting.
I could honestly see her like trying to like back away and tripping, and she just puts her hands out and he gets one of her fingers as she goes down.
Ooh, like just like as she's going down, just like he slices one off.
Yeah, he's like fumbling to catch it in
Uh,
midair. Just like sucking on it like, oh yes, this is the finest cuisine.
she passes out from just
Shock.
the trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. Claudette and Jane are still alive also. Do we want to leave it that way?
Yeah, I think Claudette's gonna like she knows what's in there, so she's at least going to like cover her mouth so she doesn't, inhale so much.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll probably get out of that. If nothing else, she might go and help Quentin and Fung and grab like a taser or something.
Yes. She
Jane's Jane's like holding on barely because that dosage is not enough to take Jane down. Like it's too spread out.
All right. But ultimately, Quentin and Fung kill him with
Yes.
enough shots.
Between the guns and the tasers, because at least the taser would immobilize them. So they're like, I can't hit him, And Claudette just runs up and tasers his ass. So he's just holding still. And she's like, shoot him now.
Ugh. And he just goes down with one of Yunjin's fingers in his mouth.
Yeah.
Just gross.
Oh my god, he passes out and chokes on the finger and dies.
I didn't need that. I've literally gagged.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All
I
right.
need a job with a horror movie place.
Let's just start
Making you gag.
writing our own movies.
Yeah.
All right. So to recap, near Crotus Pren is a campsite. It is near Father Campbell's chapel. There's a lake. It's not on the map, but there's a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people who are camping there. So we start off with Kate's wandering the woods, happens upon a caravan. There's a horse. Oh my god, it's a horse. She loves horses. And she gets fucking snatched because she's distracted by the horse. She has no awareness about anything around her. Kate's gone.
Yep.
Ace, Jeff, David, and Ash just out in the woods getting drunk. This man approaches them, a weird clown dude. But they're super drunk. He also is a little bit drunk, and he's like, I got more drinks back in my caravan, and they're like, hell yeah, party! So they go back with him, and he attempts to get them high to and like all gassed up and drugged and everything so he can kill them. Turns out the concoction was a little bit wrong, and Ash revs up his chainsaw because he's just mad. Everything around him looks like a fucking demon, and it's like his girlfriend all over again. And he takes out Ace, Jeff, and David in one go, and goes blazing out of the caravan. And the clown's just like, gotta work on that one. Steve and Nancy have left their friends to go have a little teenage fun in the woods. And the clown is wandering outside of his caravan again. I would assume he was probably trying to just keep tabs on wherever the fuck Ash went to, so that, like, you can get him later, but they happen upon the clown near the caravan, and he's like, you kids want to come in for some drinks? And they're teenagers, and they're like, yeah, of course, free drinks. And Steve's just, and Nancy's probably like a little scared, because, like, he's creepy, and Steve's just like, don't be a scaredy cat, I bet you wouldn't go. Go gone, it's just a drink, let's go. He convinces her. Which was ultimately the mistake. He doesn't let her go alone, though, of course, because still Nancy, he'll still protect her. And she dies to the clown, and so does Steve. Then there's Nia, who's also out in the woods, tagging some trees, going on a nice little hike. And clown sit outside of his caravan, sees her. He's like, hey there, you want to come in for a drink? And she doesn't judge people. She's just like, yeah, he's a little creepy looking, but aren't we all? And she's like, yeah, sure. Which was a mistake. She definitely shouldn't have trusted him. Because she goes alone and she gets got. And I would just like to point out the fact that she has, you do the spray paint like this, the tip of your finger gets a little bit of paint on it. And so he definitely chose her dominant hand index finger because of that unique flavor of the spray paint. Then, Maurice, the good boy he is, lures in a couple other victims. The first one being Lori, very similar to Kate. She's also a horse girl. She's out hiking through the woods, sees a horse. It has a third eye, but everything's beautiful. And she's just like, oh, cute little horsey. And she's just sitting there petting the horse and gets fucking snatched. And they never see her again. Elodie also sees the horse, but she goes, what the fuck is that fucking thing? That has 3 fucking eyes. So she's over near the horse, trying to see, like, it's behaving like a normal horse, but obviously has a third eye, so, like, something's weird. She's taking notes. She's trying to read through her old notes to see, like, what is this? What kind of a horse has a third eye? How does this happen? She's very distracted, gets snatched. Now, Ash has been out in the woods with his chainsaw. He goes back near the lake. Pure instinct, I guess, because that's where they all started off, was out by the lake. And he sees two demons about to get into a boat to go into the lake. And who knows what nefarious deeds they are up to. It's his job to kill them. And it's just a massacre. Blood everywhere. Fish get involved. Some fish happen to be too close to the shore. There's fish guts, there's frogs, and there's bits of Tap and Jake in there. Just slaughtered. And going for a jog nearby is Meg and her grandpa Bill. And her grandpa's old, out of shape, he smokes a lot. And she's like, you gotta live forever, Grandpa. Come on, let's get healthy, go for a jog. And they're running. Ash sees them. Two demons. They think they can get away from him. They can't. And he goes and he mows Bill down. Meg, who was jogging slowly so her grandpa could keep up, goes, holy shit, and sprints away. Like the sandbagging bitch she is. And Ash is like, that demon can't get away from me. And he sprints after her also. She's obviously much faster than him. And she runs into a caravan where, and starts banging on the door. A clown comes out. He's terrifying, but he isn't the one she just saw murder her grandpa with a chainsaw. So she's like, there's a guy out there with a chainsaw. And the clown's like, well, get in here so you get away from that and be safe. And he kills her in there. Ash was following her. He was pretty close on the trail. Comes back to the caravan. He is all worn out now, exhausted. His chainsaw's run out of gas. And he just starts banging on the door like, I know you're in there. He started to calm down a little bit from the high. But then the clown comes out. And this entire time, he's been working on a new concoction for him. And he's just like, oh, your friends are still inside. Go on in. Ash goes in. Never heard from again. While there was a chainsaw guy running around the lake, by the way, Dwight decided that this was his chance to just get the fuck out of there because he's not going to mess around with someone running around with a chainsaw because he's not stupid, but also, he was probably actually hanging out with the four guys and they just forgot to invite him when they went for a drinking hike. If I'm being real, he was probably with David. Like, David convinced him to go for the weekend. So nobody fucking knows that Dwight is there or notices he left, but he just runs away when the chainsaw comes sprinting by, and nobody saw him again. So did the clown get him? Did he get lost in the woods? Who knows? He's gone. All right. Oh, there's a lot that happens between my notes and this. All right, so after the chainsaw incident, somebody calls the cops. And there's a man running around this campsite with a chainsaw. And so Jill and Leon show up. And they see, first of all, the massacre by the lake. And Bill's body, honestly, probably isn't too far away. And the first thing they ask is anybody missing? And it's at this point everybody realizes, yeah, our friends actually have been gone for a while. And Jill and Leon are like, okay, let's get a search party together. We'll all split up. And Jill takes a group, Leon takes a group. We'll go find your friends, but we'll keep you safe if the chainsaw man shows up again. He won't. Spoiler alert. He's been dealt with. Jill's group is the first one to happen upon the caravan. and they knock on it, and the first question she asks is, "Have you seen a man running around with a chainsaw?" And the clown says no. Right? Yeah, he says no.
Mhm.
But through the door, Claudette catches a glimpse of like a bottle of ether and a bottle of chloroform. And she's like, bad vibes instantly. And takes off running without even being like, danger. She's just like, nope, bye. Takes off running. Yui goes and runs after her. Because I don't know, Jill probably was just like, go get her. Don't let her run off alone. She'll die. So Yui takes off running. And then Jill's just like, do you mind if I have a look inside your caravan? And the clown's like, of course not. Come on in. Adam starts to go with her. And she's like, no, stay out here. If anything's up, I can handle myself. She can't. She greatly overestimated her abilities. Hi, Max! Yes! We're recapping our horror movie.
Is that Max is in Max that plays the clown?
Yes. The one and only purging clown. So Jill goes inside, and he is bigger and stronger. And as soon as she's inside, he goes to go gas her and chloroform her. Thank you for the sub. The clown is the best.
The best lol.
I missed all of the other part where we discussed how he wasn't.
all of the backstory.
Yeah.
So he puts up a fight with Jill. Adam's outside, and he hears a couple of, like, Jill tries to shoot him. She fires off the gun, but like he's chloroforming her and everything. She's not gonna hit anything. Adam and Zarina hear that, and they're like, we gotta go save her. At this point, they end up busting through the door. Jill's already passed out. Adam and Zarina cannot fight the clown either. So he's gonna gas both of them. At this point, the caravan is just filled with toxic gas shit, and he just shuts them in there. Sees Jane outside. Jane's like, "Fuck no!" Takes off running to go and get Yui and Claudette, who ran away. Use the purple gas. That's exactly what he's doing. The other group, who was with Leon, finds the pile where the clown's been dumping his bodies. And Leon's just like, do not touch anybody or anything here. And he marks it so that other cops like can come find it again for evidence. And they start recognizing some of their friends there. Yunjin recognizes Kate. Cheryl, Quentin, and Fang recognize Steve and Nancy. Felix recognizes Lodi. And they're like, oh my god, our friends are dead. Leon's like, okay, listen, I know where this is. You guys stay here. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go and see if because he was trying to radio Jill. Jill wasn't answering. He's like, I need to go find Jill. So Leon takes off. Felix is just trying not to look at Elodie's corpse. He's so sad that, like, he let his best friend go on a hike alone, and look what happened to her. And one tear just rolls down his cheek. And Yunjin's just like, you look better when you don't cry. She turns back around and watches Leon run away. What happens after that? Leon runs into the clown. So the clown left them in the caravan to just get gassed and die. And Leon runs into him. Creepy ass clown in the middle of the fucking woods. And he's just like, this is suspicious. And he's like, hey, you stop there. The clown stops. And he says, have you seen a guy around here with a chainsaw? And the clown's like, nope. He's like, have you seen a cop? Yay high, short brown hair. And the clown's like, nope. And he's like, where's your campsite? The clown's just like, back there. Leon's like, do you mind if I go and take a look around? The clown's like, not at all, come on. And Leon also gets got because he's just alone with the clown, and as soon as the clown like opens up and like shoves Leon into the caravan, he's gonna get gassed immediately too. Last thing he sees is Jill, Adam, and Zarina passed out on the floor of the caravan, fingers moist
Mm-hmm.
from all the licking and sucking. Yui, Jane, and Claudette all end up finding the group who were hanging out by the evidence site of all the bodies. And they're like, hey, there's this evil clown. He, that cop we were with, he lured her into the caravan. He tried to kill her, is what Jade's saying. He got Adam and Zarina too. Claudette's like, he has ether, he has chloroform, he has all, like, bleach, all of these gases. Like, you do not want to go into that caravan. He could literally make mustard gas and kill you in minutes. And then they're like, oh shit, that other cop just went that way. So they all go. And when they get to the caravan, they see all Jill, Adam, Zarina, and Leon's bodies, fingers missing, discarded outside the caravan. They're like, yeah, this is what's happening. And Felix is just like, we need to get their guns, Jill and Leon's, so we could fight him, kill him. Vigilantism, yay.
Mm-hmm.
And the clown comes out, sees them, and has one of his little concoctions that he throws at them. Most of them back off, but Yui's like, I'm not scared of this motherfucker. She should be. Because he catches a glimpse of her manicure and Yunjin's manicure. You can't miss it. The nails are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows they're just delectable. Absolute delicacies. And since Yui's the closest, he goes for her first. And just, grabs a hand and tries to nibble on a fingertip. She tries to put up a fight, but she's pretty gassed up and not at her full fighting potential. Gets stabbed in the gut while he's just sucking on fingers. She doesn't even feel it. She's so drugged. But he takes Yui out. Cheryl couldn't handle the gas at all. She just passes out immediately. And then, since the only other one that had good fingers is Yunjin, he goes after her next. And she goes to stop him by holding up a hand, to which he just immediately takes the opportunity to slice off a finger. And just the pain, shock, and trauma alone, she just passes out. Through all of this distraction, Claudette and Jane were smart enough to back up far enough to, like, not get super gassed. Quentin and Feng tried to... Oh, I forgot about Felix. When he threw the gas, initially...
Face.
Yeah, he nailed Felix in the head. Felix dropped down. And as he was going for Yui, he stepped on Felix's head and crushed him to death. So Quentin and Feng were like, that Felix guy had a good idea, let's grab those guns. So while the clown's distracted with Yui and Yunjin, they grab the guns. Claudette goes over to help them, grabs a taser. They start firing. They don't know how to fucking fire guns. They miss a couple of times, and because, like, he's moving around, he's fighting. They're also scared they'll probably hit Yui or Yunjin, because, like, that's scary. And Claudette's like, I'll get him, and she tases him, which stops him still long enough that they can get a few shots in and take him down. Are they murderers? We meet them later in group therapy. And
I mean, if you go with he fell backwards, passed out, and choked on a finger. Technically, he didn't die from the gunshot wound.
Oh, that's right. The gunshots knock him back, and he choked. The finger he sliced off of Yunjin and was sucking on just falls back.